Looks like we can start. Well, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. We welcome you to the Social Mission Alliance for Us All campaign Fall 2025 update webinar. Next slide. This is our agenda for today. We're going to go over the SMA overview, the For Us All campaign overview, progress to date, status updates, ways to get involved, and break out into small group sessions. Next slide. For everyone who doesn't know about Social Mission Alliance is a national movement focused on health equity and training health professionals as agents of a more equitable healthcare. This takes us beyond centuries-old conventions to train providers prepared to build a system that is not only better, but fairer. That brings us to the question, what is social mission? The social mission of a health profession school is the contribution of the school in its missions, programs, and the performance of its graduates, faculty, and leadership in advancing health equity and addressing the health disparities of the society in which it exists. Social Mission Alliance vision is one where we aspire to health professionals education in which social mission is present, prominent, and valued to drive health equity and improve health for individuals, families, and communities. Next slide. This is your For Us All campaign co-chairs, myself, Andrea Jenkins, my colleagues, Kayla Ringelheim, Robert Rock, Uju, and Woozy. Next slide. The For Us All concept is one of reimagining the social contract to see a world where there's equal health for us all. The For Us All campaign is a campaign to fight for transformative health justice through advancing social accountability within health professions, training institutions. The For Us All Coalition is an organized group of committed advocates who help us shape and implement the For Us All campaign. Next slide. Now we'll go over the campaign strategy. SMA is galvanizing our vast community of committed health professionals from across the United States and internationally who have connected with us through our conferences over the past decade. The For Us All campaign is a vehicle to activate this community and the communities they serve to advance structural changes aligned with Social Mission's vision. Next slide. This is our 2025-2026 Advocacy Advisory Council. These are our current 15 members. Some of these faces you may be familiar with. I'll give it a second for you guys to look over that. And we'll go to the next slide. Next, I'll turn over the presentation to my colleague, Robert Rock. He'll go over the campaign pillars, progress to date, and our status updates.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So our campaign pillars are really the center of what we're organizing around. And our campaign is centered around these 5 pillars that anchor our commitment to equity and health justice. Next slide, please. So the first pillar is workforce diversification. SMA believes that diversifying our healthcare workforce is a proven strategy for addressing health disparities. And to support this progress, health professions pathway programs should be prioritized for historically excluded communities within the health fields, such as Black, Latinx, Indigenous, and Pacific Islander communities, as well as those marginalized by disability, language, class, or place. Workers within healthcare institutions should also be provided professional advancement opportunities. These types of initiatives bolster employment, promote social mobility, and raise the economic floor in the region for those who most often face barriers in pursuing these fields. The next pillar is institutional support for historically excluded groups. Historically, excluded students and faculty have consistently led the way in advancing equity at institutions that were not originally designed with them in mind. These individuals work tirelessly to make institutions more inclusive for patients, workers, and students, often without receiving adequate recognition or support in return. We believe it is crucial to acknowledge their contributions, compensate them fairly, and provide professional and financial resources, such as funding and affinity support networks, to ensure their work is sustainable. Next slide, please. The third pillar is anti-racist, justice-oriented health education. Anti-racism and health equity curricula should be mandatory and standard. They are crucial for preparing health workers as health justice advocates. Health equity principles and content should be included in educational competencies, assessment, disciplinary priorities, and institutional policies. Educational resources should be directed to preparing trainees to meet the needs of patient populations that are most structurally oppressed. Ultimately, we envision a country where health professional training prepares and motivates our workforce to care for all of the unique communities that make up our society. Additionally, institutions must have mechanisms to ensure retention and training for those most disproportionately impacted by attrition within health fields. The fourth pillar is centering community power. Centering community power is fundamental to addressing the root causes of health disparities for communities that health institutions serve, whether it be increased community oversight of institutional activities and resource allocation, representation in admissions and institutional boards, or maintaining access and funding for key safety net lifelines like FQHCs. Empowering the community must be an explicit goal in our work. We must honor the agency of legacy residents who are not only those most impacted by gentrification and displacement, but are the foundation of the communities we serve. Next slide. Our last pillar is repairing harm with community redress. So our health systems historically has caused deep harm to many. Healthcare institutions ought to engage in processes that acknowledge and educate their own students and workers of these historical harms while addressing the needs of those harmed. These processes aim to repair exploitative relationships between institutions and the communities they serve, building a foundation of trust, reciprocity, and shared governance. Next slide. So those are the pillars that the work that we want to do will be aligned around, and really what um, helps determine how we forge new partnerships and collaborations with organizations to advance this campaign and social mission overall. Last year, we expanded and reinvigorated the membership of our Advocacy Advisory Council to focus efforts on developing the For Us All campaign as a response to the sentiments and in feedback that we received at the conference in Durham, North Carolina. The Advocacy Advisory Council came together in terms of shaping the For Us All campaign's visions, pillars, strategies, and tactics. We then convened during the Action and Accountability Summit, which was a 3-day convening in Washington, D.C. in March of 2025, where we brought together the Advocacy Advisory Council and members of the wider SMA community to refine and focus our planned tactics and strategies to meet the needs of the SMA community members. Over the summer, we took what we learned over the year and what we agreed upon from coming out of the Action and Accountability Summit to finalize the campaign platform and the staffing model to prepare for this 2025-2026 academic year. That planning included collecting the stories and narratives that would serve as the foundation of our social media campaign and refocusing and reorganizing our Health Justice Fellowship to serve as a vehicle for institutional organizing. During that time, we've also been meeting with individuals and organizations to forge partnerships to support the campaign. Some of our partners are listed here, such as blackdoctor.org, the National Association of Medical Minority Educators, the Milbank Memorial Fund, Relate Lab, the Association of Medical Professionals with Hearing Losses, and the Baltimore Redevelopment Action Coalition for Empowerment, or BRACE. We will be working with these organizations to both on our um, media narrative campaigns, as well as our institutional organizing. And I'm going to pass it off to Kayla Ringelheim to talk about the specific tactics.
Thanks, Rob. Um, so yeah, Rob set this up, giving you a sense of what we've been working on over the last year. We said in a team meeting recently, it felt like the campaign kind of soft launched last year. Some of you may have seen us talking about it over the last year. But really, we were refining the direction and the strategy and getting our partners in place. And so this year, we're really excited to, have a clear strategy and start to really bring more folks into the fold. So what that is going to look like this year is on this slide. We have three main things that we're focused on. First is a digital media campaign, and that's really focused on narrative change. There's a lot, all of the anti-DEI sentiment that existed before this administration and has been intensified during this administration is something that we are actively trying to combat and create new narratives that people can hold on to. And so we're going to be doing that through storytelling, through social media, blog posts, op-ed placements, webinars, to really uplift what is successful about these types of initiatives that we all care so much about. And also, not only that, but humanizing the harm of, um, efforts to go against these this important work. So humanizing the harm both in terms of what that does to our workforce and what that does to our communities. So that's the digital media campaign component of the work. The second big piece of the work is around institutional change. So narrative change is kind of broad and sometimes hard to really quantify the impact of, though we will try our best. And this second strategy, the institutional organizing, is basically like hyper localized projects that are trying to implement policies within institutions that align with the campaign pillars. And the main vehicle that we have for that this year is our Health Justice Fellowship program. So if you all, actually, Rob, can you give just a brief overview of the fellowship program for folks who might not be familiar with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Health Justice Fellowship Program has been around since 2021. It is a year-long fellowship for health professional students from across the country. We focus on med students, nursing students, dental students, PA students, and public health students. And the fellowship is designed to support them in really supercharging the work that they've already demonstrated commitment to relative to advancing social mission and health professions education, and really helping them envision a career where they can sustain that. Because all too often, the trials and tribulations of training can often lead people to stray from that commitment. And so SMA is all about making sure people are constantly reaffirming their commitment to social medicine and social mission, and being supported in advancing that through relationships, networking, support on different projects and endeavors that they want to take advantage of. And so that is what we've been doing for, since the founding of the fellowship program. But this year, with the synergizing with the For Us All campaign, we really want to support our fellows in being institutional advocates and supporting either the sustainment of a lot of these programs and services that align with the five pillars of the campaign, or creating new things that can take things further than they were already before.
Amazing. Thanks, Rob. Um, so yeah, so we're practicing what we preach on an institutional level, with, by supporting our health justice fellows. We have new organizing trainings for them, and we're really so excited about them and their work and following their progress this year. Um, so that's the second sort of area we're focused on. The third is, broader coalition building, some of what we're doing here today. That is, expanding our network of allies that are interested in this work, that are engaged in this work, and really creating the infrastructure for our collaboration and communication and convening. SMA has been convening like-minded folks for years and years and years. That's our kind of bread and butter. And this campaign, we're really excited to see how we can mobilize that community and grow that community, um, to advance the change that we all care about. So that's our third kind of area of focus. So that brings us to you. Um, so we've come up with a list of ways that you can get involved. And we want to talk to you about other ways that you can get involved because we might not have thought of everything. But here is a starting point. So a big piece of the campaign, it's really just getting started in a lot of ways. So right now we're trying to amplify, awareness about the campaign as much as we can. So anything that you can do to share this with friends or colleagues who might be interested in it or excited about it, that is extremely helpful. Um, you can also, some practical things that you can do is you can follow us on social media. You can sign up for our newsletter. We have a health advocacy insights newsletter specifically for folks who are focused on advocacy. That's the main sort of communication vehicle that we have for talking about the campaign. Um, so if we can send out links to how to sign up for that afterwards. Um, in terms of convenings, hopefully you're all aware of the next SMA conference that's going to be happening in early 2026 in Los Angeles. We're super excited about that. And well, I'm not sure when registration is going to open, but if anyone on here knows, you can share that. But yeah, it's going to be open soon. Um, and then this is the last webinar that we have for the fall. And we're already planning a webinar series for the spring that again is really going to highlight our partners and the exciting work that's happening. And so if you sign up for our newsletter, that is the best way to learn about those. And then the last thing, of course, that you can do to help us is to share. Oh, thanks, Katie. Yes, registration is open and abstract submissions are being accepted for the conference. And so that, if you want to learn more about that, there's a link in the chat for you to click.